Hey, AJ, Jeppy Condell kicked off the show with a $5 tip. Says GG.
As he always does. GG to you, Jeppy.
Thank you so much, Jeppy
Homegrown
Condell.
Georgia Game Cat. Let's get it.
Oh,
Let's
yeah?
get it, Jeppy. Did you know that? I
Did
know
you?
you probably don't follow the Olympics at all. You're like
Ooh,
the
yeah.
last person I would expect to, but
Yeah,
I
in
think
fact,
it's pretty cool that they added skateboarding and stuff to it. It's pretty cool. Japan, a 13-year-old girl won the Japan gold medal. That is badass awesomeness, inspiring, even
I'm
glorious.
I'm glad you hijacked my Jeppy Condyle conversation
Hey,
to
Jeppy
talk
seems like he
about the
appreciates
Olympics. To talk about the Olympics, but where I was going with that was I wanted to give a shout out to Jordan Cloud, who tipped at the end of my DMagnet Let's Play, and it's after I turned the volume down on my headset.
yeah.
I was saying goodbye to everybody, and he was asking what our first game ever was. Do you remember?
My first game ever that I played was Super Mario Duck Hunt.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
First game I ever owned was Mega Man 2, baby.
Oh my god, yeah, I think
Tooth and nail, clawed my way to get that shit.
Yeah, I think I'm right on this. I think the first game maybe I ever played was at my grandparents' house, and it was Stampede on the old Atari. But then it was the first game I ever owned for myself. Maybe I even bought it for myself. I doubt it. Was Maniac Mansion on the Commodore 64. Craziness, guys! I want to see in the chat what everybody's first game was. This is a great way to find out how old
Yes.
everyone is too.
Start the show, Brian. Let's do this.
Fine, let's start the show. This is PSVR GamesCast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, regardless of who decides to show up and who doesn't. My name's Brian Powell from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole. And the guys to my right, the boy, AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. Now, we know Mondays usually suck, but obviously, as you can see from the headline, hopefully we can make your Monday suck just a little bit less.
Yeah, Dave sends his regards. He would love to be here, but of course, he cannot. That's why he's not here.
Lots of Mario Brothers, lots of Pong.
Oh, yeah. Alex Kidd on the
Man.
Master System? That's great, man. Shinobi World was amazing.
Oregon Trail, Commodore Night Lore.
Wow.
Good shit.
Real good stuff, man. We got some old graying cats in the chat. Just like
We're
me.
all old.
Man, we have so much stuff to talk about, but I guess we should probably kick it off with a little bit of housekeeping. And the housekeeping we want to take care of is, guys, don't forget to join our Discord. The link's in the description below. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. That's where we get multiplayer meetups happening. That's where we just hang out and shoot the shit. What are you doing? And we even get some daily box VR classes in. So make sure you head on over there and join us. It's the never-ending conversation. Also, we have. What's that?
I said, get yourself a little sweat going.
Get yourself
Some
a little
box
sweat.
VR.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
healthy.
with some box VR. It makes you sweat. Exercise.
Like it's not hot enough out. Did you notice? I'm already celebrating October because I can't. I'm done with summer. I'm done with it. Okay, this is me protesting summer. I'm fucking done.
I'm gonna start calling you Brian Pumpkins. He's Brian Pumpkins.
I feel like that's a conflict of interest with a competing channel. Yeah, I'm Brian the Pumpkin Patch Kid apparently. So, yeah, I'm done with summer, man. It's so hot. But whatever, man. If you want a box, get in there with us. Anyway, don't forget, we are also now getting these shows up on Spotify and some other streaming services. We'll make sure we get a full list of those eventually. But, man, just go to Spotify, search for Without Pro. You'll find us pretty quickly, probably with a bunch of other true crime podcasts. And I think that's kind of it.
ET.UK9.now asks, is box VR still $30?
I think retail, yeah, but it's always on sale. Like, in fact, it's on sale during this sale. It was like $10, $11 or something like that. And it's terrible, man. Like the more we play, the more we realize all the faults that it has. Like there's no way I could have known all these things back when I reviewed it. But now it's but man, it's like we have trouble getting classes going. People seeing the rooms that we create. Man, sometimes when you do a squat, even if you're in full view of the camera, it pulls the world down with you, and then you stand back up and you have to like throw an uppercut, and it's like everything's a fucking disaster. We still do it because it's the best thing that we have. But man, they really need to get that VidXR update coming as soon as possible. So I don't think worth $30, but you know, grab it while it's $10. All right, good. Now that I see you're done with the chat, now you can rejoin the conversation here live. We can't have you talking in the chat, AJ. There's only two of us. If one of us stops talking, that's it. I know. Dude, we got a tip from Mad Max Stone, the Game Cat Avenger, rare with $5, says Yuki. Damn, I love that game. I thought that was nice. Wii U. For a treat on PSVR.
We're in for a treat on PSVR. Witness.
For a treat. Oh, in for a treat. I didn't read the whole sentence. You're in for a treat on PSVR. Witness. Also, Frax pre-ordered Meow and Swipe right back at you.
Let's go.
I've got it downloaded on my Quest, man. I haven't played it yet, but definitely looking forward to that. Also, I had $10 just sitting in my account on my Quest, so I picked up Blair Witch because it was on sale, so I got that for $10. So I have to try out both of those. Give you guys a little sneak preview for any PSVR owners out there. I think there might be a few of you watching. AJ, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today, and I think we should probably get the ball rolling. What is the first thing on the docket?
Did you know, Brian?
I didn't.
That I believe, now this could be wrong, but tonight at midnight, Winds and Leaves is releasing.
Oh, is it? I didn't know it was midnight. That's crazy.
So technically, it should be out in an hour in the UK. But they said that I saw on Reddit, because they were responding to some people, that Trebuchet, makers of Winds and Leaves, they said that it is going to be a midnight release. Now, this is a little bit of a problem for us because we're under embargo until 10 a.m. tomorrow, so we can't review it or anything. And this comes from the big dog. This is Sony telling us, guys, you can't do this. So we're not gonna mess with that. No, sir.
Man, I didn't talk to any big dogs. I don't know who you've been talking. I didn't talk to any big dogs. I think I'm in the clear.
Just let me take care of this, Brian. I've got this. I'll keep us out of trouble, okay? But
you don't know me well
today
enough.
There was. Oh, I do. Today there was a new trailer and a new blog post over there from the team at Trebuchet that showed us some new. I know Trebuchet.
Every time I need to say
it. But anyways, there was a new trailer and new blog post that showed off some new looks at the game that we hadn't seen before. So I wanted to just point out a couple things that we noticed in the trailer that seems like they apply to the game. This is all from the trailer.
First and foremost, I noticed they made a way better trailer. Like the first trailer was like, oh, some weird something or another, trees growing, game something that's happening, Winds and Leaves. I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh well. And then the next one was like 4.5 minutes, and it was basically a tutorial of how to play the game. And I was like, I zoned out within the first 12 seconds. I was like, I'm out. And then this is like, this is perfect, man. This is perfect. This is like short, concise. It gives you a better idea of what the game's all about. It shows like different things that you're going to be able to do. And man, I mean,
right.
You know, like, I mean, does this make sense to you? This trailer, do you understand what the game's all about by watching this?
I think it's this trailer tells you a little bit more about the game than it might seem on the surface. But, you pay attention to it because it's got some important things in it. Number one, let's just start with the simple thing, is that, you see that it's gameplay footage and that it has like a little bit, it looks like a little blurry. You can even tell from the image there, like looks like a little bit, just a little bit. But you also notice that there's like some really pretty scenes. Like they've got like these moments where there's like the sun rising and it's really colorful and looks really pretty. And they've got like the Aurora Borealis, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
With like the Northern Lights or whatever at night and stuff. It gives a better look at the game. You see these giant windmills with sprawling trees here and there, and different stuff. So some other mechanics as well.
Bill Romeo, the Game Cat, with the 229 euros in the chat. Thank you so much, dude. Says Winds and Leaves out now in EU. Can confirm. So according to Bell, Winds and Leaves is now out in Europe, and
Interesting.
and it's also out in Australia. That's for sure.
Right.
And so I'm going to say something, and by saying this, I'm not going to say anything. If you buy it, don't play it. Just wait till tomorrow, and you'll totally understand why. Tomorrow.
So anyways, another thing in the game is that they show, they've talked about the traversal in this game, how you use like some stilts, that you walk around on stilts in this game, which is pretty interesting. But they also show a mechanic in this trailer where you're jumping from tree to tree as if you're flying. They kind of show you climbing trees and stuff, picking different seeds from the trees, but they also show you jumping around from trees. They've shown on Twitter that you're like jumping around on these different like little platforms and stuff, and it you kind of like look at it and it like launches you towards it. And I don't see any blinders or anything when that's happening in the trailer, so that's pretty cool, man. But of course, this game is all about restoring the forest and it says at the end of the trailer, end the cycle, so we don't really know what that means yet.
The different types of locomotion, I think, are it's very cool for them to show this off in the trailer, because I think before this, most of what they showed were, hey, you're walking on stilts. They detailed the whole stilt walking mechanic multiple times in the PlayStation blog. You can stretch them up and make them longer. You can shrink them down. Help you get things on trees. They'll say they help you run faster, and knowing that there's other ways to get around other than traversing an entire world on stilts is good to know. Yep. Very informative trailer.
Nice little mix-up. It's a great trailer. All right. So, but look forward to that. We cannot, like any game, always wait for a review from us if you can. Or, if you're just an impulse buyer, then whatever. You do you. But we will have a review tomorrow after 10 o'clock. Where we can talk about it more in depth, and we'll probably go over it Wednesday on GAMESCAST. Brian will probably have a review. I'll be live streaming it tomorrow, so we'll talk about it all then, and you can finally check it out some more. But congratulations to Trebuchet, their second game next to Prison Boss, PSVR exclusive. I love exclusives. I am a fan. So. Go ahead.
Let's give a shout out to Nihilist Ryan, the Game Feline, with a $5 tip. Says, heart. So many games, so jobby job getting in the way, or so much jobby job getting in the way.
Yes.
I hear that. Somehow that even relates to me. It's like there's so many games getting in the way of my jobby job, and my jobby job is getting in the way of all these games. It's craziness. Thank you so much for the donation. I'm also going to have another special video for Winds and Leaves going up tomorrow on the channel. So if you are curious about it, if you buy it and you want to know more about it, or if you are on the fence and need to know more about it, then definitely check out Without Parole tomorrow. I should have a review done early, and then definitely a special video after that at some point.
Shades of Grey Matter said, do we know the price point? I think I saw on Reddit that they said $29.99, I believe. They specified on the price. Right, because it dropped on the Australian store. And it was like what, $45 Australian dollars, and so it was, if you do the conversion stuff, it ends up being like $30 or 25 pounds, something like that. So should be around that price point. All right, so moving on. Rumor, Brian. There is a new rumor that is popping up. Do you remember PlayStation Home?
I feel like we talk about PlayStation Home every third or fourth episode. So yeah, I remember.
I know
PlayStation Home pretty clearly.
Watch an episode once in a while, J Mal. Well, this is a new thing regarding PlayStation Home, which is why we wanted to bring it up real quick. Just some speculation, but an interesting thing to keep an eye on, and that is this comes from PlayStation Universe, and they are speculating about the possible return. Or that some activity is happening regarding PlayStation Home. And in the article, they say the rumor comes from a Reddit user who has been closely following the trademark for PlayStation Home, which you can see the history yourself, and they've got the link and everything. But it says that it was updated. It says there user notes that there hasn't been an update since 2019 for whatever reason. However, Sony has updated it again just a few days ago on July 21st, 2021. And then they go on to say, now this is all purely speculation, but the idea that something could be going on with PlayStation Home is not as far-fetched as it once may have seemed. VR is clearly a big focus for Sony, and the return of PlayStation Home with fully integrated VR functionality for PSVR2 just sounds like a perfect match. So perfect. Someone at Sony must have already thought about this, right?
I mean, the number of times we go, well, obviously this is going to happen, Sony. And then Sony goes, what? I mean, countless times over the last however many years. Like, I mean, I'm talking about going back to the PlayStation 1. Like, my mindset is never the same mindset as Sony's. This makes perfect sense to me, 100%. I wish I knew more about copyright law or trademark law to understand, like, if there's any particular reason that they'd be renewing these things now and not later. I mean, like, did they just run it? Did they just expire? Did they run out? And they just like, well, we have to do this because we want to make sure we hold on to our name. Or is there something that was done when they filed these papers that, like, updated it and said, hey, this is going to be something we're using, in the near future? No idea. What do you think, though? Do you think this is going to be our PSVR2 Oasis?
I think it would be a great match. We like PSHome never, I really felt like, got the full. It got a lot of like attention and stuff, and it had like a lot of work put into it. But I never feel like it ever got treated like a full application. It always felt like it was kind of just like a work in progress kind of deal.
I mean, it was in beta for like 95% of the time it was out.
Right. I think Nick researched that last time, and yeah, it was in beta for the majority of its lifetime. But I think when it comes to VR, I think it's a great fit. What I agree with this article is that it does seem like, I do have this feeling that Sony's going to be more doubling down on VR this gen. With the PSVR 1, I can kind of understand their stance. There's a lot of unknowns to really throw your entire budget into it. There wasn't stuff, there was the Move controllers, which were reused into a 3D space and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that was just felt like it was kind of an experimental phase. And this is going to be the first VR product where it's like, no, this is PlayStation VR, like, built from the ground up, as we always like to say, for VR by PlayStation. Controllers, headset, software support, all sorts of things. They said they're redesigning a complete new system. So there are a lot of potential things that we could see happening this gen, and it is super exciting.
Yeah, it's I mean, I agree with you. I think they're building a much stronger foundation for PSVR 2. Again, reasons for them to spend advertising money, reasons for them to really get invested and change the UI and create an Oasis and stuff to kind of like give us a place to hang out. There's reasons to, because I think they believe in this a little bit more than they believed in their first experiment. This is definitely PSVR 2. This is their Vita to the PSP, which is a terrible comparison. But it's funny that Facebook gets so much shit, right, for Oculus trying to include advertisements in video games and stuff in VR. But you look at home and it's really just one gigantic advertisement. Like, that's really all it is. You walk into different spaces that have, like little promos for different, upcoming games or games that are released. Or you go to a store and you buy a shirt and it has like some game logo on it. Like, you pay actual money for a game logo on a shirt.
I still never got to experience that Uncharted ride or whatever that was.
I stood in the siren line for like 3 hours and I was like, these are the same
but it's so
7
realistic.
people.
That's great. It's like real amusement park.
But there were only 7 people waiting in line with me. I was like, "What's the holdup? Is the ride broken?" Like, I never understood certain elements of home, but I did spend a few dollars here and there, and like to give my dudes like some clothes. I forget what they were, and but I honestly, like, I would spend a good amount of money in PlayStation Home on PlayStation VR2, if they were able to if I could customize like my apartment, right? Give me a cool place to hang out, let me invite people over, and watch movies together and do the whole thing and just kind of customize the entire place. I would spend actual money if this was a place that I could hang out all the time. I mean, I don't know how much money, but if it was just like a free app, like PlayStation Home was, then you get a little bit more incentive to spend money.
If you take something like, especially the younger generation, they love free stuff, and that like lots of free games, lots of cheap games get a lot of visibility, a lot of traction because they start out free. Because kids who don't have jobs or whatever, they're too young to have jobs, they have access to them. So something like Home in VR. Would probably do pretty well. So we'll have to see. I
know,
but yeah, I'd like them to bring back the movie theater, bring back like all this sorts of stuff. Start integrating some of those Netflix services, unless we do end up getting the last video store, which I don't know if you noticed, but Shuhei actually he actually saw one of my tweets, which makes me feel special in itself.
I called him up and I told him, I was like, AJ needs this, man. He needs this. Just do it for him.
We do.
Yeah.
But then he actually tweeted about the last video store and stuff, or retweeted a Push Square article about it, which I thought was really cool. I was like, oh, well, the fact that he actually like acknowledged that it exists, I'm like, maybe this is a thing. It'd be very interesting because they're talking about using the hard drive and stuff to like watch videos and stuff. So, anyways, I
would really think that like once PSVR2 rolls around, like whatever happens with the last video store is like immediately outdated, because I do think there'll be something more integrated. Like you said, PlayStation Home had a movie theater. You could go watch the E3 press conferences in PlayStation Home, like in the movie theater in there. I did that one time. Yeah. It was not the best way to watch it, but you could do it. Yeah. It's crazy. Listen, we got to take care of a few tips before we go any further. The first one comes to us from Gatorade23. Gatorade23 with a $20 tip. Thank you so much, dude. He says, "Sup, my dudes? Dead Space VR is one of my most wanted games. I personally wouldn't trust anyone but Visceral for a remake." You're in trouble. I would opt for a safe port. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Man, this is going to be a hot topic of conversation by the end of the show, man.
As if it isn't broke, don't break it.
If it... Oh, it isn't broke, don't break it. Yeah, no, good call.
Did that on purpose. Well, we definitely have some exciting stuff, exciting conversation, at least. There's no info or anything, but we have some rumor or some speculation of our own. And it's the topic of the show. So stay tuned, Gatorade 23.
We might get to it eventually. We'll have to see how this goes. Belramio, the Game Cat with the €5.49 says they should use Blockbuster or similar tech, then allow us to resell clothes as well. That'd be important to create a digital marketplace. Yeah, that would be interesting to be like, hey, I've got this shirt. You want to buy it for $2.50? I just bought it for $5. It's like, pretty interesting, man. They should use blockchain. Did I say Blockbuster? I'm sorry, man. My brain.
Yeah, blockchain. This next one comes from Alberto, my palm, the game gato.
I feel like you should be holding a cigarette for this. Yeah.
You hear that, cabron? With the 50 donation, thank you so much. It says, do you think apps like the last video store could be integrated into PlayStation Home? And what other apps would you like to see in there? Saludos.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Like, I always think of PlayStation Home as like this one solidified thing that Sony's created, but the fact is that they dropped their own movie service, so I don't exactly see them starting up a new movie service to be integrated into PlayStation Home. Obviously, that would be like a Netflix thing or some random thing, like Vudu, and I don't know, all the off-brand Hulus and shit.
I don't think the last video store would be integrated into itself, but I think the last video store at the very least would be a great stopgap at the very least, till we get first party or something else with PSVR2, higher resolution, stuff like that. So will be important moving forward.
All right, man. What's the next story you got for us?
So there was a game that was very sneaky and came out last week called Rythm and Bullets. And it's a like kind of grid-based neon kind of wave shooter rhythm game.
Grid-based?
Well, no, not grid-based, sorry. But it's like basically a first-person shooter where you have two move controllers, your hands are little starships, and we get to play it a little bit and just wanted to share a couple minutes of just some first impressions.
right, first impressions of Rhythm and Bullets. We're back. Woohoo! All right, man. So yeah, a little kind of bullet hell space shooter, kind of like retro inspired, right? I get to talk a little bit about it on the last show, I believe, but I don't think you at that point had a chance to play it. Where are you at?
No,
with
that
this
was
right
Wind
now?
Wind. None of us talked about it
Oh, okay.
because it was Wind Wind. This game we talked about with the trailer and stuff, and I was lucky enough to get a key from the developer, so thank you so much. I got to check it out for a little bit, it's. I said that I wanted to give this a chance because I liked games like what's that? Starship Disco.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called?
100%.
And uh, and so this one's a little bit different where you're kind of in one place. You've got the two starships on your hands, there's these like grid looking. I don't know another word. They're like these little things coming towards you,
Like wireframe enemies.
Wireframe, thank
Yeah.
you. That's the word I'm looking for. Like wireframe, little shapes and stuff coming towards you, and you have this like ball in the middle, and you have to prevent them from getting hit. The tutorial for this game is super long. There's so many more. This game is a lot more complex than just you're just aiming and shooting.
Yeah.
They've got a color code system where you have to press X or circle to cycle through them. There's 3 different colors: green, red, and white, and you have to have the matching things. The developers, I remember saying they were fans of Ikaruga and other things, and And from what I noticed, I mean, like I was kind of like back and forth on it. Ultimately, I ended just thinking like it was okay. I appreciated the fact that it had some deeper mechanics to it, but it also gets really difficult really fast, and I usually like that. But I wasn't like really feeling it as much as I had hoped.
Yeah, I mean things like Starship Disco. I feel like I don't. I think you and I both liked it. I think Dave was the outlier on this one.
Yes, he hates it.
Starship Disco to me was immediately likable. It's like the you look at the move controllers, and the ships are like pretty decent sized. The ones here are like really small, and I get it's like more of a bullet hell thing. So you do have to like maneuver around things that you're not allowed to hit. You have to hold this move button to up your shield so you can bash against things that you are allowed to hit. And so there's like a bunch of different mechanics at work here. And so I guess they had to do it a certain way, but it's I don't know, man. Like I haven't gotten to the point in this game where it hooks me. And I feel like that maybe if I keep playing and I get better, it'll hook me. But right now I suck, and like I'm like the music's got me kind of just doing this, just like Pistol Whip. The metronome is on, or you can turn the metronome on if you want to, and the move controllers vibrate to the beat, and so you're trying to fire on rhythm to help get power ups. Now, that's why it's called Rhythm and Bullets.
Yeah,
I suck at this game. So bad.
I didn't really. I definitely had the retro arcade feel from this game, but I didn't really have the rhythm game feel at all. Like I wasn't feeling the rhythm game aspect of it, and some of the environments. Like there was a couple. I mean, there's one that they even showed in the trailer that has like these purple, like Hawaiian looking or pink, like Hawaiian flowers and stuff, and they look pretty cool. It's got this like Japanese inspired art look to it. But then there were some that were just like these are just basic and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. It's decent. Seems like it's decent, but again, I feel like I've been so spoiled lately with these really immersive feeling games, and this one I just wasn't really feeling super immersed in.
Right, and you said you've been playing a little bit of Yuki too, so like it sounds like that is like the way better version of this game.
Yes, that is a fair assessment. Yuki obviously is a bigger team, more experienced likely too, and it's a little bit more flashy. So Yuki overall, I still have a lot more to play of that as well, but it's pretty dope so far. It's got a lot of stylized artwork. It's got amazing artwork and really, really good soundtrack. All except for the first level, I will say. I hate the music in the first level for some reason, but other than that, Yuki is pretty cool. And it's like got this cool roguelike element to it as well.
Nice. Yeah, after all this PSVR madness dies down a little bit, I can't wait to throw my quest on and play a little bit of Yuki, play a little bit of Blair Witch. It'll be good times had by me at least. Real quick, we want to give a shout out to Damash Smash with the $5 tip. He did the mash. A little after the topic, but yay, wins and leaves. Nice, dude. Thank you so much for the tip. And it's good to see wins and leaves excitement out there. Ever since I saw the very first trailer, however long ago, I kept thinking to myself, I was like, you're creating a very niche audience for yourself, Trebuchet. I really, really hope that there's enough people out there who give the game a shot. Keep me posted if you do. I'm very curious. We also get Genetic Blasphemy with the $5 tip. Says, let's hope the last video store doesn't revive the predatory late fees of Blockbuster.
Somebody mentioned a funny comment. They were like, what happens? Like, is there do you die if you have like late fees and don't pay them or something, or lose health? I was like, that'd be pretty cool. Dude, some good game mechanics in there.
I watched that last video store, the last Blockbuster, whatever the hell the documentary is about the last Blockbuster, and it gave the whole history of Blockbuster. It said, remember near the end they were trying to revitalize sales and stuff, and they were like, no more late fees, no more late fees. Well, somebody at the very top decided to do that, and it cut the profits, it cut the revenue for the entire franchise, or to a third. Down to a third of what they were making prior to that. I was like, it's just like they ruined the business by getting rid of late fees. They just screwed everybody. Insane. Belrami of the Game Cat with the €5.49 says, last video store makes you rewind tapes. You got to turn the tape to rewind it manually for 5 minutes, or you have to pay extra fees. He's obviously joking.
I remember that shit too.
No way. Yeah, we had like one of the little race car ones that you put the tape in, like slam it down, and it goes. Yeah. Thank you, Belramio. Of course, Game Cat with the £2 donation says, reminder to hit the like. Make sure you hit the like button, guys.
Thank
That's
you.
a thing. Also check out Offcore's Instagram. Was it JBrainArt? God damn it! You got to put it in the chat. Offcore. And Future Past Scott Jessica PSN Harry Fellow PSVR Game Cat 4 Life with the £2. Testing 1, 2 testing, and we're back. Nice. Yeah, sorry about
Excellent.
the crash, guys.
All right. So we got to move here because we want to get to the main topic in time. Might go over a little here, but that's okay. So, guys, we just real quick wanted to address something. There is a very controversial thing happening. So if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, maybe you come back in about 5 minutes. And we're not going to shed too much insight on this. We want to be very respectful to all parties, to everybody. But recently, there was an update for Superhot where the developers had claimed that they are now removing any things of self-harm in the game. And I've done a little bit of looking into this, and I believe I have a theory of what happened. I'm not entirely sure, but I have my own theory that I've kind of formed because I'm typically not the kind of person to I typically like to put myself in other people's positions and stuff, and
So you're saying you like to educate yourself before before making a rash decision?
Yeah.
Well, so just a little bit more backstory before you give us a little bit more research that you did. They at one point they did give you the option to turn off any scenes of self-harm. And then basically the developers like, this isn't good enough. We need to do better as an industry, and then issued a patch to remove it completely. And I understand why people are upset with that kind of thing. They look at it maybe as censorship, or they look at it as maybe like, hey man, I bought a certain game and now you've changed it. Like, give me back what I bought. Give me the thing that that I've been playing. And I understand that side of it. But there's always more to the story. Do you have the more to the story?
Yeah, and this is all just from my own research and observations and stuff. I follow some of the developers on Twitter, and right before this happened, I had heard that there's a lot of stuff going on with like Blizzard and Activision right now too, and it's pretty bad. And the stories that we're hearing, it's pretty bad stuff. It sounds like, and so one of the developers from Superhot, I had saw. They were really messed up. They were talking about how they miss one of their, I guess, a colleague, a coworker, somebody in the industry, and they also talked about how they were ashamed sometimes of being in this industry and stuff, and how there's like scummy people. You know, there's scummy people everywhere, and we got to get as many out from as many places we can out. There's no, when it comes to working, a work environment, you want a positive, healthy work environment and stuff. And so, what I drew a connection that I believe maybe happened here, and it seemed like to me personally that possibly an incident happened with this girl, and she's no longer now with us, and the developer was really, really hurt by this and upset about it. And then a little bit later, now we hear that anything of self-harm is being taken out of the game. So I have a feeling just this is like that maybe this had something to do with it. Maybe it was a lot of this stuff. So it seemed to me like more like a personal decision, something that was very close, like it hit too close to home for them. So they wanted it removed themselves, and that's why they did it. And that's my takeaway from this whole situation.
Yeah, like I'm always against censorship. I am always against, just like
Right.
taking things out of. I mean, it goes all the way back to Castlevania on the NES, probably before that, where they would like removed all like the religious symbolism and stuff when they brought the game over to the U.S. And I was like, that's so dumb. And like we always get the inferior versions of things because just because of the way this country works, and inferior depending on your perspective, I suppose. And but when it comes to something like this, these are the people who made the game. These are the people who brought us their vision to begin with. These are the people who, it's as long as no one from the outside is telling them, hey, you need to do this. This is something that they've decided to do on their own. Then like I've got to support
A little bit different of story, right?
you always have to. I mean, I always support the artist. Like it doesn't matter if it's a musician, a video game creator, a painter. It doesn't matter, man. It's like this is their artwork. This is their vision, and I've got friends.
Well,
I've got friends who've committed suicide. I've got friends who have died in horrible ways. Do I still make jokes about suicide? Absolutely. But like I've found after saying those things that some people in our community are very sensitive to those things. I'm fucking clueless. And then when I find out that people are sensitive to those things, I don't make those jokes anymore, right? And so it's it's all very, very personal, and that's what this sounds like. So
yeah.
Dude, Persona. I loved shooting myself in the head in Persona 3 to summon personas. Like I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, But like, but I can certainly respect the developer's decision to change it for these personal reasons.
For personal reasons, right? I'm with you in that. Like, if this was just some people speaking out against it, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I probably wouldn't be as supportive. But to me, like I said, it's like it's the developer's vision, and they make the game. I'm usually of the mindset of, hey, play the game that developers intended, the experience that they intended and stuff. And it's a little strange to come out this many years later and change it. But if it is something personal related like that, especially very traumatic, then I can definitely sympathize and empathize and But just an interesting thing. So all of that you can expect to be removed from Superhot in the near future.
I got the physical disc, so I can always play the original creation the way it was originally meant to
But
be.
then you won't have the Christmas update, Brian.
I'm good, man. I'm good. All right.
All right.
This brings us
That
to our.
brings us.
Where's Dave when you need him?
Go ahead.
Because it would have been way better if all three of us were doing that. Yeah, this is our topic of the day, guys. Obviously, if you saw the thumbnail or the title of the video, then you know that we really, really want to take a little bit of a dive into the Dead Space remake that's happening right now by EA Motive, and also why we think it would be absolutely perfect for PlayStation VR 2. AJ, you got some details on the Dead Space remake first and foremost, right? Before we dive into all of our thoughts on this.
Yeah. So I'm glad I was not prepared for this, as even though I've been preparing for it all day. No, I'm just kidding. There was, for those who don't or aren't aware, a Dead Space remake was first heavily rumored, but then it was officially confirmed later on during EA Play, I believe it was. Yes, in 2021. And they have confirmed, this comes from IGN, and it says EA confirmed Motive is currently working on a Dead Space 1 remake set for release on the PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. No official release date or window was given, but the first teaser trailer offered an in-engine look at the mood and tone Motive is striving to capture with the remake. So, first and foremost, this is being developed by Motive, which, for those who don't know, made what, Brian?
Star Wars Squadrons.
That is correct, and did
Ding,
a
ding,
damn
ding, ding,
good
ding.
job, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job.
Yeah. So this game is being rebuilt from the ground up using the Frostbite engine, with developers looking to take advantage of the advanced SSDs, 3D audio, and more new tech of the latest console generation to bring Isaac's journey aboard the USG Ishimura to life once again. So they are also go on to say finally here. They said they're working with fans, people in the Dead Space community to help assist and give feedback to help modernize from things. So this game is being rebuilt from the ground up. It's not just a remaster, and it's going to be this gen only.
So they've reached out to fans. Did you hear from them? Because we're fans of Dead Space.
Well, yes, we are. But we have a couple theories of why and how this would work swimmingly.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the right word.
Yeah, I love that. I love that they were like, "Hey, just so you know, this trailer was meant to set the tone, like it's a tone piece, sort of like to give you the idea of like of what they're trying to do here, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, we fucking played Dead Space. It looks like Dead Space." I was like, "Good job, guys! Like you nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. It looks like Dead Space." And so I'm glad that they are mimicking what made it good to begin with. It was like just the look and the feel and everything.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, getting back to where you want to go here. Obviously, Squadrons was not only a flat screen game, but it was also a PSVR game, PC VR as well, I believe. Right? I mean, headsets almost across the
far
board.
superior in VR, might I add.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. These kind of games are just way better to play in VR. But that's not the point. The point is that these guys have experience, like flipping a switch and taking a flat screen game and making it VR. And so, if there was one team over at EA that we were really hoping would be making this game, it's probably EA Motive. I mean, Visceral's not around anymore, so this is kind of close second, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know if they've made anything else. Have they made anything other than the two Star Wars experiences, or Star Wars Squadrons and then the Star Wars Rogue One mission? Because if that's all they've made, I just want to say that both of those have been really good. So I think EA has the budget to be able to actually produce some pretty good games. Not to say they aren't talented. I'm sure they've got plenty of talented people over there as well. But I think they have the other thing that really matters, which is budget as well.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, even the Motive, I really did like the Rogue One experience, but as far as I know, Motive didn't have anything to do with that, right? Was that
Right.
Yeah.
I think Motive's a little bit newer of a company, as far as I know.
Yeah. So, listen. So, I mean, let's get past the easy stuff here, because the easy stuff is super clear. Horror games are better in VR. Period. There's no way around that, right? It's like not only are you in the game, like shit's happening to you instead of some a character that's sitting 6 feet away from you, whether you're playing first person or not. But I hope, and this is going to be maybe controversial, I hope that they switch to first person view for this game, because Dead Space 1, 2, and 3, when those games came out, those were product of their times. Those were like picking up the survival horror gauntlet, like where Resident Evil had already been like, yeah, we're not really interested in this anymore. Like, we're doing something else. But like third person games were like the fucking rage then. And like slowly but surely that's sort of faded away a little bit. I mean, they're still out there. Obviously, tons of developers are making third person games. Sony specifically will never stop making third person games. But I think horror games have come a long way. You know, we've seen games like Outlast, and we've seen like just tons of games that show how much better things are in first person. And so I know that there's like this whole iconic thing with being able to see the health bar in the back of Isaac's suit, but like small sacrifice to make, right?
Well, that's what I was going to kick things off with. Is that Dead Space originally not only is horror better most of the times better in VR, but so is survival. And Dead Space 1 was my favorite because it felt like the most survival horror of the three. But good old classic traditional stuff. Maybe I know it gets compared to like Resident Evil 4 a lot, which maybe is not one of the more survival horrors kind of Resident Evils, but that's like a good comparison, I still think. But this game was immersive as it is. It was designed to be immersive. Like you said, the health bar on the back, it had a very diegetic UI, which was like everything instead of like menus and stuff popping up on the screen, everything was integrated into the game pretty well, and it was like very immersive.
Hold on. Diegetic of sound in a movie, television program occurring within the context of the story and being able to be heard by the characters. The music used is strictly diegetic.
Like his health bar was his spine thing.
Yeah, I'm all caught up now. I'm all caught up.
The inventory system was like a hologram projected or whatever. Yeah. It was all like stuff that wasn't just, oh, this is just magically here for the player to see. It's like, no, like when you're running around in that game, you don't see shit. Like, I mean, you basically just see the game, and like there's not all these numbers and stuff popping. Oh, okay, there were some, but not a bunch.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's that game actually was fantastic because it was an earlier one to strip away a lot of the HUD, right? And it just added to so much to the experience. And I think that they can kind of do that again, man. It's like there's no reason, like if you've got arms in first person, there's no reason there can't be something on the hand or on the arm.
Yeah,
something on your weapon, something, something. Isaac wears
someplace else to see it. Yeah,
Isaac wears the biggest badass helmet I've ever seen in a video game. I don't even know how he sees through the goddamn thing, right? Like you tell me there's not some kind of HUD in that helmet, and I'd be shocked. I know it's like a welder's mask or something, but that's not the point. It's like it's a big ass mask, and there could certainly be something and I wouldn't even mind that like they give us the option to turn on and off like a mask type thing.
Yeah, you do that in No Man's Sky. You could go boop, and it turns on your visor.
It just adds to the immersion, you know. And then like you see a little health bar there. It's like fucking awesome, man, awesome. So this would take. I think first person would really take the all the Dead Space stuff to the next level, because one of the great things that Dead Space already did was audio, and like I mean, and you just can't compare the audio on PlayStation 3 to with the capabilities on PlayStation 5. So getting that in first person VR and hearing the necromorphs crawling through the vents, you're like, they're in the fucking walls, man. They're in the walls, right? And and then you are the character who the necromorphs are going to try to jump out and attack instead of seeing that third person character on the screen. Like
stuff like the fog too, like when you're going through and you have to rely a lot on sound, and that game typically with the pacing of it, you're kind of crawling through, and then like you'll hear little noises, and you just it's got this great sense of paranoia about it. Like it makes you so freaking paranoid that like you just never know. You could be working on upgrading your like gun or whatever, any of your items, guns, and then like something just pops out at you, and you're just like but then other times it'll be like nothing. So you have to rely on the noises, and with the Tempest audio engine and stuff. It would be interesting to see them utilize this new plugin of having 5,000 different sound inputs. Imagine what they could do with that.
Right. They need to step up their game big time to not only meet the expectations that Visceral already set for us with the original Dead Space 1. Not only meet that, because you got to make the fans happy, right? But then you have to take it a step farther and go, wow, we got to make this game not only like make the visually more atmospheric, use the audio to make it more atmospheric, and just make the entire thing scarier. Like make sure that you're on the edge of your seat for the entire game. And I just really think that as soon as we get into VR territory, like I mean, I think if you were just going to remake the game and make it third person, then it would just be too similar to the original game, no matter what you change, right? At least Resident Evil 2 Remake had the benefit of like, hey, these used to be pre-rendered backgrounds, and it was on the PlayStation 1, and now we've, given it 3D environments and stuff.
Right.
And
This
whatever.
was a beautiful game already.
Such a beautiful game already. Like I remember the first time I played Dead Space 1, you're sitting there and you're like strapped into your seat and stuff, and like I don't know what's happening, but you're on the ship and you're approaching the Ishimura, and like this light is shining through. I was like, this is an amazing cutscene. And then everybody just stopped talking, and I was like, moved the analog stick and I turned the camera. I was like, this is happening in real time. Like the PlayStation 3 is amazing. And so yeah, it blew me away then. So you'd really have to do something special, and I feel like if you don't go in the first person, then you've already screwed up. You're not taking it to the next level as far as like the horror element's concerned.
Yeah, obviously you'd have to convert it, but again, that's the beauty of it being rebuilt from the ground up, is they can throw in that option. They can redesign some things tailored for VR. We've seen other games like Hitman 3, which were third person, and we kind of questioned. We're like, is that going to be kind of weird being in first person? Is that going to take away the character at all? And it was like, no, not really. It still had the voice acting, and you feel like maybe even if you don't feel like Agent 47, you still felt like, an assassin, like a deadly assassin as Agent 47 if you just look different. So, yeah, it would take away a little bit of the look and stuff, but there's so much more about it, though. I mean, like, I want to talk about, this was like one of the first games that I feel like it was like where you got to like dissect. Like, that was what made the combat so cool in this game, was like, if you shoot them in the head, like, it didn't do shit. Like, you'd have to cut off their arms, cut off their legs, and stomp them into pieces, basically. And that would just be, in VR, just the gore factor would just be amazing.
Well, what was it? It was, I'm assuming this had the same control scheme that every control scheme used back then, where it was like you'd hold like L1 or something to aim and then R1 to fire or something. Because this was, don't forget, PlayStation before started utilizing the triggers. Everything was backwards until PlayStation 4.
Right.
And so, like, how much cooler would it be to just like bring up your orb controller, and there was another button you hit to flip the orientation of the cutter, whatever the fuck it was, not the bolt cutter, whatever the default weapon was, because you would fire like a flat beam or like, right, and you could flip that horizontally or vertically, and so to not have to push a button, you just like bring up your hand with the orb and you fire this way or you fire that way. I mean, infinitely more.
Shades of Grey Matter remembers. He says you wouldn't need to press the button because you could just rotate the orb.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Nice.
But yeah, but the other thing, another thing I think would be really cool is the zero gravity moments in this game where you kind of jump around. So it was just various different things in the game, but yeah, the 0G moments would be so sick and intense. Also.
Yeah. So here's my question for you: is like, what would you want added to this game? Like, what changes would you want done to make sure that it's like a completely new experience but still remain faithful to Dead Space?
Ooh, that's a tricky question. I mean, I still want it to be survival horror. I still want it to be you have to dismember all of the things. I still want the very like thing looking enemies and stuff in the game. The atmosphere, I think, is something I would absolutely want to keep. The atmosphere was so fantastic. It's not a colorful game. It's like very dark
brown.
and brown and gross and metal, and I love that about it. I would want that again for sure. Like I said, more of a maybe retool some of the UI stuff. Instead of your spine, have a thing going on your wrist or something, or on your arm, like a meter on your arm. Have it all converted into the usual VR things. The only thing I don't know how you do is maybe the stomp, but I figured you could maybe just look down and press a button or something and let it stomp for you and stuff, and watch their 20 limbs explode from a stomp.
Yeah, I mean, like, that would be a small sacrifice. I mean, that's what you're doing on the flat screen, right?
Yeah.
You walk up to them and you hit a button. It's like, okay, well, I guess we'll hit a button in VR. Real quick, Jamie I with a $2 tip says, would you play this if it's flat screen only?
Probably not, because I already played it. So
Yeah.
the only reason to really play it for me is in VR or
That's what
something much different.
that's what I'm saying, man. It's like I don't. It doesn't matter what you do to this thing. If you're not adding VR support, then like you're missing a huge, huge, huge way to really revamp the revamp. Donatello Jr.
Yeah.
about PSVR2 GameCat with a $5 tip says haptic blood splatter over your face. I can feel it just splattering
Yes,
over and just running
all over
down.
my face. I want
Everybody,
one of
keep
those
your mouth shut.
tentacles. I want when one of those tentacles pop out to hit me in the face and feel the haptics from those tentacles.
Tentacles
Yes.
and blood and stuff splattering over your face. I think I've
Yes.
seen a
Absolutely.
porno like this. Just saying.
Uh, glorious.
Thank you guys so much for the donation.
Yeah.
Plasma cutter. No, and somebody said Reaper. So these
Yeah,
were
Nick said
definitely, definitely. You guys are on the right
Like a
track for sure.
rifle. No, I don't know. But what about you, man? I mean, for me, yeah, I mostly everything, like I said, just a good conversion to VR, and then I think that would do so much because this game got so much right about atmosphere and stuff and that shit and sound design and graphics and enemies and pacing. So much of it was pretty awesome. That's all I would really want to see on EA's budget.
Yeah, there's a few things. I know that there was some news that came out that said that they're going to be like stuff that was left on the cutting room floor for Dead Space 1 is going to be included in this game. So stuff that we never saw that was supposed to be included in Dead Space 1, which is great. More story, like let's find out a little bit more about Isaac, a little bit more of the backstory. I mean, and I kind of really hope that this is like a reboot. Like let's forget 2 and 3 ever happened, because 2 was great enough, but man, I feel like Visceral like just went in this totally different direction. They Resident Evil 5'd Dead Space 3. Like they were just like, oh, we're just gonna take this into action, and we're not gonna worry too much about the horror. It just didn't feel like part of the
Yeah.
series at all. So
No.
for me, I wanted to bring it all back home and like remember, hey, this is what made Dead Space good to begin with. Like it is a horror game. It's not an action game. Like I don't even care, man. Like leave multiplayer off the table completely. Like focus on your amazing single player campaign, because that's what you're known for, and just leave it at that, right? And then make everything hyper realistic. Make sure make sure that everything old is new again, right? We don't want to be walking down the hallway and go, oh, dude jumps out of the vent right there. Walk into this room and know what to expect, that something's going to happen in a
Right.
second. No, we've seen that. And I've personally played and beaten the original Dead Space 4 times to get the platinum.
Did you have to beat it on Impossible to get that platinum?
I don't think so. It was impossible. The one kill and you're dead.
Impossible was, yeah, it was like brutal as
Permadeath.
hell.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think you just had to play like I don't. If I remember correctly, there were trophies for beating on easy, normal, and hard, and they didn't stack. If I remember correctly, so I had to, and then there was like something I missed. Yeah, there was something I missed, and so I had to go back and play it a 4th time on top of it all. It was ridiculous. But like yeah, so I just want them to like reinvent everything. Like I mean, do you remember Parasite Eve 1? It was like the first time you saw
Yeah,
the rat transform into like the crazy monster thing. Like I need moments like that where you're like, oh yeah, we know these necromorph things. We know these these alien creatures. We've seen them before. But man, they can make an entrance. Like give them a cool way to make an entrance, and and make them and allow them to enter the room in ways we've never seen before. And
Yeah.
and I guess this is going to be more of a complaint than I really want it to be. And as I think about it, I want to give a shout out to future past Scott Jessico, PSN Harry Fellow, PSVR Game Cat for Life with the £2. Says, smash the like button, smash the like button, Tarzan. I mean, Game Cats. Yeah, well, thank you so much, Scott Jessico. Yeah, so one of the things I didn't like about Dead
The
Space,
Ripper. The Ripper.
it was the Ripper. Are you sure it wasn't the Reaper? I don't know.
The Ripper.
I don't know. Now I want to go play Dead Space 1. But yeah, but one of the things I didn't like was was that the game became very formulaic. And maybe this is something I only like really picked up on because I played it so many times, but I really think it was something more along the lines of like, hey, Isaac, go down here and go fix this. And then you're like, okay, cool. And then you go down and you like go fix
He's
something.
just doing his job. That's his job.
Yeah. But then, but then the second you get there, like something else doesn't work, and they're like, well, to make sure that gets fixed, you got to go fix this. And you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna take a side route over here to go fix this, so that can be fixed. And then like it's just constant, man. It's constant. Every single time you get to someplace, it's like, hey, it looks like the engines are down, and we're gonna go have to start the engines back up. And it just seemed so formulaic, where it was like just an excuse to funnel you down and like make you backtrack, do all this backtracking. Maybe like sort of refine the story a little bit so it doesn't feel so, I don't know, just I'm just gonna walk from point A to point B again. Very predictable. But that's it, man. I think Dead Space was a great game, and just getting into VR.
You think halfway through the game he'd be like, I'm done with this shit.
Right?
I don't want to no more going to stop an oil leak and have to fight a giant jelly monster with tentacles.
Well, he was kind of screwed, man. Within the first 5 minutes, it was like game over for everybody else on that mission. So, yeah.
But yeah, man, something I just hope to see. We're getting closer and closer to PSVR2, especially when Sony's going to start showcasing this. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I typically have always been of the mindset of like, I've wanted, I don't want every single game in VR, but there's a good bit that I want. And this is one that I do firmly believe would be like so much better in VR.
I mean, you might not want every game in VR, but like I want almost every game in VR. There's very few examples where I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Absolutely.
Oh, most games.
So tell me this before we call this conversation quits. Before we call it quits on this conversation, Resident Evil 8, Silent Hills, Dead Space Remake.
Silent Hills is not happening.
Which one do you want as a PSVR2 launch title? Because we can't have 3 amazing VR horror games at launch.
I'd probably take. Well, I mean, if I had the choice, Silent Hill, of course. But if I don't have a choice, or what do I think? I don't know. If I don't have a choice, then Village, I guess.
You do have a choice. That was the question. I gave you the choice, and you said, "I don't know if I don't have a choice."
Silent Hill, but not. But I'd prefer a Silent Hill, not by Bloober Team, and
for sure.
and by I'd almost rather have no Silent Hill than a Bloober Team Silent Hill. And then
Fingers
I
crossed
also
for
am
Kojima.
still very skeptical about that rumor. I mean, there's lots of things that are making it more and more enticing to believe, but
it was a multiple choice question. You're writing a fucking essay right now.
Yeah, because it's a I don't know. It's a question that requires a lot of thought. I got to be like, well, do I want this and lose this, or do I?
Man, your answer's so diegetic, AJ. And that brings us to our
your face is diegetic.
The final segment of the show, PlayStation VR 20 questions, where one of us takes the role of the host and thinks of a PlayStation VR game. The other host, I guess I'm the contestant, along with all of you cats in the chat, have to guess what game it is by asking 20 yes or no questions. AJ, do you have a game picked out? Because it is your turn.
Oh. Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Let's put a timer up because we're already a little bit over time. So let's do this.
Miles already got it, man. Fall Guys VR.
Done.
That's it.
Done.
We're done here.
Done. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I wanted to take it. Okay. Timer on market set. Go. Here we go. 6 minutes on the clock. Does it have aim support?
No.
Okay. No aim support. Is it a horror game?
No. Not really. No. Not really.
Horror question mark. Not really. Okay. Is it a puzzle game?
No.
Okay. Does it have a flat screen version or a flat screen mode?
I think it does. Yeah.
Okay. Did this developer make multiple PSVR games?
No. Shit, I'm not. Are you writing it down?
Yeah. Oh, how many questions?
Yeah.
I guess that was 5. If I wrote down the answer to all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it caught me off guard again.
Okay. Do you use? Is there any fantasy elements in this game?
No.
Okay, I didn't like the sound of that. Is it sci-fi?
No.
Is there a heavy narrative?
No.
Okay, this blows.
8. You're like, this game sucks.
I hate this game.
This
Why are
game
we playing
sounds
this
like
game?
it's terrible.
Larry Chew, thank you so much for the $5 tip. You didn't say anything, but if you want to say anything, please leave another comment and we'll give you a
Thank you,
heads
Larry.
up. There you go. Is it DualShock 4 only?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's number 9. You're on number 10.
Number 9. Yeah, it can't be Persistence because that's definitely a horror game. But thanks, tax refund.
And a sci-fi game.
And it's a sci-fi game too. Yeah, good call. Oh. No. Okay. Oh man, this is tough. I need
Don't forget,
Dave.
you have no Dave, but you have a chat as well.
I do have a chat. Absolutely. This is tough. Yeah, we already asked if it's a puzzle game, so that leaves out Zing. Does this go for? Is there a rhythm element to this game?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I would totally say Thumper, but that's so horror. That is definitely it's a horror theme. Do you control a little metallic chrome beetle on a track?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Thumper?
It is Thumper. Scott Jessico, get out of my brain.
Right?
What
That
is
was
up,
great.
dude.
Thank you.
Dude, he said Thumper before we even started asking questions, man. Holy
great.
shit, he is psychic.
That's awesome. Way to go, Scott Jessica. You guys are fantastic.
I said horror question mark.
Yeah, I know. I'd say
That's a tough one.
I would've
It's
given it
what
a
is it? What do they call it? They call it rhythm violence.
yeah.
It's not. They don't call it rhythm horror.
So there's a lot of things they don't call it. That it definitely is. But no, that was good. I'm definitely glad the chat was here to help me out. Scott, Jessica, way to go, man. Good job. All right, you guys. That's pretty much perfect timing because it's time for us to get out of here. Thank you, of course, to Miles Dyer, who runs our Instagram account. Thank you to Jay Meow, who has us up and running on Spotify and soon a website worldwide. It's insane. Also, shout out to Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, who gave Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry delivering timestamps even while he was on vacation last week. Unbelievable. What? Thank you so much, dude. Really, really appreciate it.
I need to give him a raise.
Yeah, I'll double his salary. I'll double everyone's salary.
You hear that? You're welcome, Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry.
We're all still broke. Also, make sure we want to give a huge shout out to everybody who keeps the channel running and the Discord running. All the moderators, man. I will not name them by name. Larry Chu.
They choose to be anonymous.
I mean, and probably for the best. Larry Chu says, thanks for all the reviews. Late to VR, but probably the best channel on YouTube. Thank you so much, man. That was really, really
Thank
nice
you, Larry. Welcome to the family, dude.
For sure.
Oh, you came in at a good time. Holy shit. You better strap in, get your wallet ready, because this summer is going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Go play the Frack demo.
Definitely play the Frack demo. Scott Jesco, PSN Harry Fellow, PSVR Game Cat 4 Life with the $2 says, that's why I'm called Future Past. Dude, he traveled to the future, found out the answer, he came back and told us.
I knew Scott Jessico was next, man.
He's sneaky motherfucker. That's Scott Jessico.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, thank you to all of our moderators. You're doing God's work, making my life so much easier. I appreciate it. I love you so much.
Gonna have Scott Jessico's School for Talented Youngsters coming very soon.
Something doesn't sound wholesome about that.
You'll find out.
Guys, thank you, of course, to everybody who participated in the chat, and thank you to everybody who donated today. Really, really appreciate you helping this channel run. If you also like to donate on patreon.com/withoutparolegames, get your name on that illustrious list of cats down below. Scrolls nonstop, three days a week. Really, really appreciate you guys. And of course, thank you to everybody who sat back, watched the show, didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there. I used to be one of you. I love you so much. Final words, AJ? No, sorry, I just cued the cat.
Words, cue the cat.
Oops. I didn't mean to do that.
Because I want to say goodbye and see you Wednesday. Justin Cassidy, Hugh Guyver. Shout out to your cousin Mac and his cousin in cheese. Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Dave Station, Dave Cat. Elite name squad in the house here. LC2552 Beats, the musical GameCast.
That's what I'm
he saw my stream with Electronauts. He wants to pick up Electronauts now. Deathly, the subterranean Death Cat. Yo, what's good? Guy Son Fishbowl to you. Gabriel Double from the Lights Game Cat. Flame Hat, Game Cat. Smash the like, Tarzan. Johnny, Nick Mulo, thank you so much for your moderating and other awesomeness stuff. Twitch of the Single Player Game Cat says, play more dreams. I agree. You got to go play War Garble's third level in Whiplash VR. It's his best level yet. I'll take that to the grave. Off-core Game Cat. Mark Pringles Leaf. So many people with parentheses in their name. VR Demon, what's up? Old Darth, good to see you. Glacius Dream. Miles Dyer, thank you so much. Serial Killer the Game Cat. Everybody, hide your cereal. Zakataka. Which I was actually debating. I think it's Zakataka.
Oh, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to change now.
Except for the Zakataka.
Zakataka.
I feel it would be Zakatak.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Did you happen to notice Thomas the Game Cat Hanks in the chat?
No.
We're going to have to give you a
it.
shout out on Friday's show, man. Hashtag GameCat. Hashtag GameCat in the comments below. If you change your name to GameCat, we'll give you a shout out on Friday's show.
Oh, I can't wait to do that one on Friday. Damach. He did the match. Smash. The match.
Yeah, you didn't
He
quite
did
get
the
that.
match.
The
Smash.
match.
It was a VR smash. Peter Taylor, thank you so much. He says hit the like button. Thank you. Listen to Peter Taylor, everybody.
Yeah.
Guy knows what he's talking about. Decepticon, GG back to you, sir. Guys, wonderful to see you. Thank you so much. Ooh, Tom also said Thumper. Patrick Chem said Thumper. Justin Cassidy said Thumper. So many people. My thoughts like
they're projecting. They're projecting on the screen.
I'm projecting.
It's a PS2. It's a PSVR2 feature. I mean, no one knows that you have one, but yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Hey,
well, you
AJ,
guys.
AJ, I just wanted to say, in Dave's absence tonight, thank you so very much for being just above and beyond the most diegetic I've ever seen you.
Oh.